What got you into music? I mean, let's start with the hard questions right off the bat. What did music do for you when you were younger, and how did it shape you to become the person that you are now?
Well, funny, when I was just six months old, believe it or not, my mom had two of her cousins living with us, and they would listen to Three Dog Night Harmony every night, and I would not go to sleep until they played that. And when they moved out to go back to live wherever they were living, they left the record with me. And so until I was in third grade, all I listened to was Three Dog Night all the time. I took my building blocks, I spelled out the label and everything else. I was just super obsessed with Three Dog Night. And then somebody at school told me that I really needed to listen to Kiss. And that's probably when it started to escalate into where I am now.
Everyone has that moment, right? All
Good or
people have that
bad.
moment.
So yeah.
Here, here.
And I think the biggest thing with Kiss for me is it's still that way now, but not so much. I think they've come around full circle. But in the 70s and early 80s, all I ever heard was Kiss sucks. And they got a few hits on the radio, but they were not everybody's favorite. Everybody knew who they were, but oh, why would you listen to that way? It was something that wasn't accepted by the mainstream, and I think that really helped work my way towards the stuff that I listen to now, where I dig deeper. I look at stuff that's not Billboard charts don't mean anything to me. If it gets played on commercial radio, it probably doesn't. And as we talked about, I ignored a lot of that stuff in the 80s and 90s and 2000s. I ignored the stuff they were playing on commercial radio because there was so much going on in the underground. And then I got a chance to hear what was going on in our own community. And so I like stuff that's on the radio. It just gets overplayed, and there's so much more stuff out there. And that's part of the reason when you said that you always wanted to have your own radio show, that's the same with me. I always wanted to be able to go on the radio and play stuff for people they would not be able to hear, to show them what other stuff's out there that they didn't have to just accept what commercial radio was throwing at them all the time.
We talk about that all the time about what it was like to, go buy albums and actually go through whole albums and find hidden gems. And obviously, did you experience a lot of that? Did you buy a lot of vinyl? Did you find your music that way?
Um, back in the early days, yeah, I got Kiss Alive 2 was my first record, and I sat in front of the turntable and opened up the gatefold, saw the big picture of them on stage, and then there's a booklet, a tour booklet thing they had that had pictures of the band, and I would just turn that cover back and forth over and over while I listened to the record, and then as I got the next Kiss record, I did the same thing, and then with Kiss especially, they've had all these little, even Alice Cooper back in the day, all sorts of little inserts and things like that. That now, if you have that with the record, it makes it more valuable. As a kid, it was all these little nifty little knickknacks and everything. And that's what's missing, I think, now with streaming and everything. It's great because people have more access to music, but they lose that physical format. And I miss just going back. And I've got my turntable still set up. I just never make it downstairs to listen to vinyl. I love that. The pop, the little inconsistencies, the scratches here and there on the record and everything just brings back memories from when I was younger.